Hey guys, welcome to the Mindful Meal Challenge. I'm Daria Rose, and I'm so happy that you decided to join me and commit to practicing mindful eating for the next 5 days. Mindful eating is one of the most underrated health style habits, and it can be life-changing if you're able to integrate it into your daily life. Over the next 5 days, I'm going to be sending you daily videos to help you through the process of learning to eat mindfully. Today, we're just going to start with the basics. One of the reasons mindful eating can be such a difficult habit to develop is that the phrase is pretty vague. What does mindfulness mean exactly? For the purposes of this program, we will consider mindful eating to be focusing your attention on the experience of eating your food and not doing anything else. Sounds simple enough, but it's easier said than done. Our minds wander by nature. They drift to thoughts, feelings, memories, and other sensory stimulations. We tend to judge things and wish they were different. We make plans for the future and ignore the present moment. If your mind is doing any of these other things, then by definition, you are not focused on your experience of eating. The goal of mindful eating is to notice when your mind wanders away from your present experience and bring it back to your meal without judgment. That's it. In this program, you're going to eat one meal mindfully per day for 5 days. I want you to focus on one specific meal where your only goal is to eat mindfully so that you don't fall into the trap of trying to eat mindfully at every meal while also trying to do other things. Getting specific about your goals makes them much easier to achieve. Mindfulness is more difficult when there are more distractions around you. So for this reason, you should choose one meal a day that you're able to eat alone or in silence with others, also eating mindfully. For most people, this is breakfast or lunch, since dinners tend to be more social, but you can choose whatever meal you like. If for some reason it's impossible for you to have a single meal you can eat mindfully every day, you can choose a snack to eat mindfully. But a prolonged dining experience is definitely more ideal. Take a moment to think about the best time for you to eat a mindful meal. Maybe it's in the morning during breakfast, or maybe you can sneak off into a conference room at work during your lunch break. The more quiet the space, the better. There should be a chair and a table for you to sit at, and ideally there will be no music, screens, or other beeping or buzzing technology nearby. And don't feel like you need to choose the same meal every day. If your schedule changes throughout the week, feel free to move your mindful meal each day to a time that suits you best. After this lesson is complete, add your mindful meals to your calendar so that they are real and you don't forget them. Your first mindful meal should happen today. Take your food to a quiet place and sit down. If you're curious how long your mindful meal will last, feel free to set a timer before you start. This can be helpful in proving to yourself that you do, in fact, have time for one mindful meal each day. You can also take a picture of your food before you start if you like, and share it with the hashtag #MindfulMealChallenge after you're finished. Once you do these things, be sure to put your phone and/or computer in sleep or do not disturb mode and put them away. Start your mindful meal by just looking at your food. Notice the colors, the shape, the moisture, and other physical properties. If you find yourself naming or judging an element of your meal in your mind, simply notice that your mind tends to do this and bring your attention back to the properties of the food itself. After looking at your food for a few moments, bring your nose closer and smell it. Notice the aroma. If you identify a familiar scent in your food, note that as well. And when you're ready, close your eyes and take your first bite of food. Notice the taste, texture, and the mouthfeel of what you're eating. Try to pinpoint where you experience the flavor in your mouth. This can be trickier than it sounds since our brains compile the sense of taste from both our tongues and our noses. Personally, I experience most of the sensation of flavor at the back of my mouth, but not always. Slowly chew your food and notice how the taste and texture of the food changes as you continue to chew. Chew until the food in your mouth is soft and thoroughly chewed, and then swallow. You can open your eyes after your first bite, but continue to eat slowly and notice the flavors and textures of eating. Continue to chew your food as thoroughly as possible. After a few bites, you may notice that your mind starts to wander to other things. Maybe you have an urge to check your phone or an impulse to eat faster, or maybe you've started to plan the rest of your day. This is totally normal. Just notice that your mind tends to do this, and remember that you have committed this short 10 to 15 minute period today to practice bringing your attention back to your experience of eating. If you start to feel bored or anxious, notice these judgments as well, and remember your commitment to practice today. The more your attention wanders and you bring it back to your experience of eating, the more practice you're getting. This is a good thing, so do not be frustrated with yourself. Toward the end of your meal, you may start to notice that you're getting full or no longer wish to eat. This is okay, and you can stop your meal whenever you like. However, judging how full your stomach is not the goal of this practice. One of the most common misunderstandings about mindful eating is that the purpose is to learn to stop eating when you're full. While slowing down and focusing on the sensations of eating can make you feel more satisfied with your meal and naturally eat less, this is not the goal while you are eating. It really does take 20 minutes or so for your brain to fully recognize satiety. So it is more valuable to slow down and truly experience your meal than it is to try to predict your future feelings in your stomach. Eating slower will naturally help you eat less. Paying attention to the experience of eating will naturally make your meal more satisfying. Eating less and enjoying food more is a byproduct of mindful eating, not the primary goal of practice. This week, you are practicing keeping your attention on your eating experience. Stop when your food is gone or when you no longer wish to continue eating. So just to recap, choose one meal per day to eat mindfully for 5 days and add the times to your calendar. Take a picture of your food and set a timer if you like. Turn off your phone and computer. Focus on the experience of eating your food and notice when your mind drifts to something else and bring it back. After your mindful meal today, head over to the Mindful Meal Challenge group on Facebook and share your thoughts and insights. It's also the best place to ask questions if you have them. I'll see you tomorrow with more tips for your Mindful Meal Challenge.